Hello guys, and welcome to another First Impressions video, and today I will be looking at Pokemon Legends Arceus, and overall, I would have to say that this game is surprisingly great. I'm really enjoying it so far, and it might even be my favorite Pokemon game. So, just looking over all of the trailers and everything that I've seen, playing that actual game for yourself really is a lot better than any of the videos I've seen online. I know that's obvious, but when you're looking at those trailers, it kind of looks like everything's barren and there's not really much to explore, but I'd honestly have to say it's the opposite. It's like Breath of the Wild, honestly. I can't really say Monster Hunter because I haven't played any Monster Hunter games, but I would say it's very comparable to Breath of the Wild with how you explore the areas. You can easily get sidetracked from doing your main quests and just trying to look over in a certain area and see if you can get a certain item or a certain Pokemon. I've done that a lot so far. I've only played for like 7 hours, but I have done like a decent amount of things in the game, and I just want to get this out of the way, but my only complaint that I have for the game, only real problem I have with the game, is the graphics. They just really look subpar for the Switch. I mean, they could have let the game develop a little longer, and maybe it would look on par with Breath of the Wild within, a couple years. So, I feel like it definitely should have been delayed because of that, but that's really the only complaint that I have for the game. There's really not much else that I'd have to say that I have a problem with. The graphics problem, sure, the game doesn't look great, but overall, it doesn't really affect the experience too much. I would even say that some parts of the game actually look good, in some of the lighting actually works in some of the areas, but that's really the only thing I have to say in terms of problems that I have, but I just wanted to go into a lot of the things that make this game great for me so far. The progression, it feels really good. It feels actually pretty similar to Breath of the Wild. I know I'm going to bring that up a lot, because this game does share a lot of similarities besides, it does have an open world, but it has, multiple worlds and everything. And it really doesn't feel like a combined, or a confined experience. It actually does still feel open with each area. But with going back to basically the tasks that you have to do in the game, it feels very similar to a lot of the quests you have to do in Breath of the Wild, or I guess in any open world game. It's not just a linear path and you go right to the gym in the next town and everything like the other Pokemon games. This one, you actually get to roam around, and then you have to go to a certain point on the map, then go to another point, kind of like a lot of the missions as I described earlier with Breath of the Wild. And overall, it really gives room for freedom, since you could actually kind of explore, and I found myself kind of getting sidetracked a lot and just going off the main objective and just catching more Pokemon, completing the Pokedex, finding interesting items and doing different things, and just overall, it's really fun to explore. Then again, there I go again, bringing back my comparison with Breath of the Wild, because the exploration of this game is actually very similar to how it is in Breath of the Wild, because in Breath of the Wild, you go around and just search for things, and that's kind of what you do in this game. You just kind of go around, see what you can find in the different areas of each map, and it's really fun, and I just really like games like that, where you can just basically go anywhere and do anything you want. And even though it has 5 different areas, that doesn't really limit you that much, because each area is still really big, and it still takes a really long time to kind of explore everything in the game. And the mechanics with gameplay, with actually catching and battling the Pokemon, feel really nice. It feels really refreshing compared to the other games, because you don't just walk into a Pokemon, it does the generic RPG battle and everything. You actually get to throw out a Pokemon to battle another wild Pokemon, or actually throw a Pokeball in the overworld to catch a Pokemon, and it feels really nice. And a comparison that I'll probably give it to is Pokemon Go, because you basically kind of even though you go to another screen in Pokemon Go, it's kind of a similar idea of like walking out and just like catching one and everything, and it just feels really fluid, and I actually brought this up on stream, but it actually feels like the core idea of Pokemon being fully realized, because you're not really having any of the limitations of the older Nintendo handhelds with this. They don't have to have the RPG mechanics or any of the RPG limitations with this game. Like, they actually can have like battles in the overworld and actually still kind of make it like the Pokemon formula and everything. And it feels really nice, and it does feel like the concept is kind of fully realized now, and it actually feels like a full big game rather than a more archaic experience. Like Sword and Shield, I would still say that's pretty archaic in terms of design and everything, since it still used the same formula, and it's still just like it basically kind of felt the same as the other games. Well, I mean, they did introduce the wild area, but even though they have that, like, everything else in the game, it just feels basically like the 3DS games or anything before that. This game is actually doing something completely new, and I'm glad it's doing that, and I really hope they have these more original ideas for Pokemon games in the future. And like, just overall, like, the story, even though the story really isn't too in-depth compared to other games I've played, it's still really nice, and I still really like the idea of this game taking place, like, at least 100 years before the modern times and everything in Pokemon. And it's really cool to see, like, how items can be crafted, and the old design for the Pokeball, and even, like, the regional variants, too, of Pokemon are really nice to see, too. So, anyways, that's my experience with Pokemon Legends Arceus so far. It's really fun, and I really enjoy it, and even though this isn't a review, don't take my word for it, but I definitely recommend this so far, from what I've played. I'm not sure if my opinions will change in the future, because if this game keeps up, like, what it's doing by being something completely original and having a lot of exploration, I'm probably really gonna enjoy this game, and it's probably gonna be one of my favorite Pokemon games, or favorite games on the Switch in general. So anyways, thank you guys for watching this video. Make sure to leave a like and subscribe for more, and make sure to check out my Discord server and Twitter if you want to. Goodbye.